Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Hugo. So in today's video, hopefully I'll be answering all of your questions on how I color grade my videos. This has been definitely, I guess like a frequent question I've been getting asked whenever I do have videos that are pretty heavy in the color grading aspect, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys have all of your questions answered in this video. If not, you can put it in the comment section below. But either way, let's get straight into it. The first thing you guys need to know is how to have your camera settings set up first, and then you can move on to the actual, like post-production. I was gonna say post-secondary, post-production part. I am using, for example, my broken T4i. Everything works. It's just like the SD card. So hopefully this tutorial goes for the camera part goes well. What you're gonna first want to do is, I'm pretty sure it's the same for Nikon's, is it has a little spin dial right here, and you want to make sure that it's on M. If you don't know what that is, it's like manual. So pretty self-explanatory. Just put it on manual. But we're not done yet. Oh my god. There's a bunch of other settings that we want to play around with. So the first thing that we need to do is we have to make sure that our shutter speed and ISO is set properly. If you guys don't know, there is like a regulated leveling for your ISO. If you go too high with it, then it starts to get this nasty ass digital grain. If you know what I'm talking about, I'll do like a little example somewhere on the screen. And it's basically like this magenta and green grain, not like the nice film grain that we see in movies. It's like this nasty green and magenta grain that you're only really able to like remove from a software, and that's such a hassle. So you might as well get all of those problems out of the way before you do post-production, right? So you want to make sure that your ISO is set to its regulated amount. For this camera right here, the regulated amount is around like 400 to 800. Once it goes past to like 1600, then it starts to get that, that digital grain. So what I have my camera set to is 800, and what you want to make sure also with that is you want to make sure that your shutter speed is in check also. What I'd say is that I'd keep your shutter speed from around 50 to 60, like it's 1/60th or 1/50th, I'm pretty sure. That's the measurements. You want to keep it at 1/50th or 1/60th for the shutter speed. If not, and you're working with lights, then you start to get that annoying flickering going on. Also, the reason why we're doing it at 1/50th and 1/60th is because we want to have it doubled, basically, our frame rate. Now let's move into the frame rate. What we have to basically do for the frame rate to find out how to change it. If yours is at 30, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, all you have to do for Canon users, I'm pretty sure, and Nikon users, you don't have to go in record mode. But basically what you need to do is, for Canon users, there's a little movie logo. You switch it to that mode, and basically in the interface here, I'll have like a little pop-up, as I said. There should be like a little Q button. You press on that, and then you go into the left side portion of the settings, second last below, and there should be like a movie record size, and I have it set to 1920 by 1080p. Make sure that you have it on the 24 frames per second rather than the 30 frames per second. 24 frames per second is basically the industry standard for film. So now that you have that set up, actually hold on, we got one more step. So basically, now that we have that set up, all we need to do now is go and change the picture style for our camera. Now what we can do, if you for some reason aren't able to work around with the settings on your computer, which I'll get to afterwards, is all you have to do for the picture style is make sure you put it on neutral. Now you're going to be able to find the picture style settings on the right side of your film settings right over here, or you can also find it in the photo mode settings, and it's basically going to be the where is it? It's going to be right beside the white balance setting to the left side of it, right? And what we're going to need to do is I have mine set to cine style, but if you can't do that, then all you need to do is go into the neutral setting and make sure all of the knobs are put all the way down. So I'm pretty sure saturation put all the way down, contrast put all the way down. But basically, to get the image more flatter, you have to install Cine Style. Now, Cine Style can be found online. I'll leave a link in the description below. I don't want to go too in depth with installing Cine Style because some people have Nikon cameras, and like I don't want to spend too much time just like talking about Canon, right? So I'll leave two helpful tutorials down in the description below on how to install it on like whether that be on a Canon or Nikon or whatever other camera CineStyle is compatible with. I'll leave down in the description below there for you to I guess like find out how to install it. And then after that we should be good for the camera settings. Oh yeah, one more thing I keep on forgetting. You want to make sure that your white balance is set properly. Usually people have like an actual board for this, but just get a white piece of paper, hold it up to the camera, take a photo of it, make sure that it's there for maybe like a few seconds. You're not just like doing that, taking a photo of it right away. Hold it up for a few seconds, take the photo. Then all we need to do afterwards is when we're going into the image preview, we want to hit on menu, and then we want to hit on the, where would it be? You want to go to the second set of settings, second last to the left side, and click on the custom white balance. After that, it's gonna pop up your photo display, and all you need to do is find the white photo that you took, have that set to your white balance, and then afterwards, when you go into the photo settings, or when you go into the movie settings, where the white balance setting is, which is to the right of your picture style, click on that, and then there should be all the way to the right side, a custom setting right there, and that's basically the custom white balance that you've just set up right now. You want to do that because if you're gonna just leave your white balance on automatic, let's say that you're outside, the weather changes, which means your white balance might also change as well. And when you're going into post-production, you might go into some problems where the colors don't actually work properly with your color grading that you have set for that one frame, since it's kind of shifty with the white balance, right? So make sure that you have your white balance set to, if it like something's going on with you not being able to set it to custom, pick one of the other settings. Just make sure you don't have it on automatic, because there can be some big problems that you run into when you do post-production, right? So basically that's it for the camera settings. Now let's move on to the post-production part. Now for the post-production part, I'm going to be using Premiere Pro. We're also going to be using Lightroom, and we're also going to be using a Lut Generator. And basically the Lut Generator is what's going to help us out with actually creating the color grading profile itself. But anyway, let's move on to what we have to do now. So now that we're done taking our shots with our new settings that we've put in our camera with the CineStyle and just like all the manual settings in general, now we have to import it into our computer, slap into Premiere Pro, and once we have it on Premiere Pro, we have to make sure that we take a screen cap of it. I'll have like a little, I guess like screen capture video playing while I'm talking about this. So we have to make a screen cap of and we have to open up Lightroom. Once you've opened up Lightroom, we drag the photo into Lightroom, blah blah blah, click on yes that you want to have this photo imported, and we should be good for that. And once we've imported the image into Lightroom, we want to open up the Lut Generator. On the left side, there's a button, you press on it, and that's basically gonna create a JPEG image. But basically that's the image that we're gonna be working with, coinciding with the actual screen cap that we took from Premiere Pro. If you have a more, I guess like heavy duty computer and you're able to handle more, then just go into the settings of the Lut Generator software, and you should be able to change the quality of it. That's what I have it set to. I have it set to the higher color grading setting, and obviously when you have it set to the higher color grading setting, it looks much better on Premiere Pro afterwards, or in the video afterwards. So yeah, you can have it set to that, and then just do the same thing as I said before, and you should be good to go. And now we drag that JPEG image that we made from the Lut Generator into Lightroom also. So now that we have both images in our Lightroom software, we have to go into the developer setting for our snapshot. But basically, how do I get my color grading the way I do? And this is basically the main topic of the video, right? So what I have going on for the settings, it's going to be popping up right over here. What I like to mainly focus on is just making sure that all the colors are pretty warm, you know what I mean? We're not going to be really going for like, you know, like a Michael Bay type film where it's like all the colors are like all the humans look like orange and like everything else looks blue. We're going to be going for a more calmer look, and that's what these settings are going to be for. Obviously, my settings might not work as good as it will with your image, so that's why you kind of have to tweak it around. But basically like have it set to around here, and you should be getting the image that's like wherever I have it on. So now that we have the color grading done from there, there should be a little row of imported images that you have on Lightroom, and the JPEG that you've created from the Lut Generator should be there. So then we click on that image afterwards, and from where the settings part is, from where your setting is for like all the coloring and stuff, there should be 2 buttons all the way at the bottom, and you want to make sure you click on the previous button, and that's basically gonna have all of the color profile that you created for your snapshot put onto the JPEG that we've also created in the Lut Generator. So now that we're done that, we're gonna have to export out the JPEG, just the JPEG, not the snapshot. We're gonna need to go back into the Lut Generator software, and on the button on the right side, we're gonna click on that. It's gonna basically ask you to find the new image that you've created with Lightroom, and once you've found it, click on OK or click on import, whatever you have to press onto, and that's basically going to be creating the color grading profile. So now that we're done all that, let's head back into Premiere Pro, and we have to create an adjustment layer now. So the adjustment layer can be found by just going into the imported image or imported videos that you have. Just like right click and it should be like new item. You can find adjustment layer there. So now that we have that done, we have to overlay the adjustment layer onto our actual video itself. And finishing up, all we have to do is go into the presets and type in Lumetri, so Lumetri. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it. Then now you have to drag on the Lumetri preset onto the adjustment layer, and it's gonna pop up a folder box, and you have to basically find the color profile or the color grading profile that you created with the Lut Generator at the end. So you just find that, click on that, and you're basically good to go now. So this is how I do all of my videos. It's really tedious and it's not the most orthodox way. So other than that, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys appreciate me taking the time to do this. I was supposed to be doing this a while ago, but my camera, as I said, using this as an example, the T4i is what I've been using for 4 years, and I freaking broke the SD card by accident. So I wasn't able to record the tutorial, and then I had a bunch of like school stuff. So sorry about the delay. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Next week, as I said, I'm going to be having out a outfit video or a pickups video. We'll have to see. But yeah, so as I said, if you have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below. And yeah, that's about it for today's video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.